Alright, welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the Drukhari and Aeldari making their debut on the ARKS of Omen. This video is sponsored by CMO Games and VoxLink app. More on those later. So here we have it. The Drukhari and Aeldari exercise acrobatic expertise in new boarding patrol boxes. The stars are washed with the sounds of violence. With the new additions in ARKS of Omen, Angron, and White Dwarf 485, there are now a total of 27 boarding action missions to take you into the cold depths of space. Plenty of boarding patrol boxes are coming to join the fun. But these starfaring Aeldari are masters of sailing through the void, and their spiky cousins are no strangers to raiding stranded vessels and even space hulks. So let's take a look at these new boarding patrols. So we do see a boarding patrol Aeldari and a boarding patrol Drukhari. Both flavors of pointy-eared pirates will shortly receive their own boarding patrol boxes. Two deadly and fleet-footed forces that you can play out of the box using the free mustering rules. So very cool. Definitely glad to see some space elves. Alright, so first we have Aeldari. The Aeldari Corsairs have been swashbuckling their way through the tight confines of void ships for their entire lives, and now they're bringing the skills to bear in boarding actions, with the help of legendary Phoenix Lord. Boarding Patrol Aeldari contains 20 Corsairs who can be built either as Void Reaver troops or tooled up Void Scarred elites. These versatile kits provide a solid firebase or pistol-packing combatants, while Jain Zar and 5 of her finest Howling Banshees dance through the decks, unleashing disorienting psychosonic screams as they cut their foes to ribbons. Alright, so at first look, this is a pretty nice box here. We do see 20 of the Void Scarred in here again, which once again is one of my main problems with a lot of these boxes is there's really no reason for the redundancy. I don't see any specific reason why you would put 2 units of the Void Scarred in here instead of just using a unit of them and a unit of Guardians or something else along those lines. I think it's kind of cool and thematic. They were doing like the little pirate ship thing and everything like that. So depending on what angle you're going with on this one, thematically, does it make sense? Not really. Actual box set wise, does the composition make sense? Not really, because I don't think anybody really wants 20 Void Scarred. I mean, they're going to be okay in this. You can build them as 2 different units, so you do have a little bit of versatility in them. I always prefer to see the multi-kits in these box sets so that you could build them in 2 different ways. But that being said, using the existing prices, we see Jain Zar comes in at $42. She's very good in this current meta and will do really well on boarding patrols. Banshees as well, very good, $60 for those. And then we see the Void Scarred in 2 sets of 60 as well. So if we total that all up, it comes out to $222. And that is right in line with the Chaos box set and a couple of the other ones at that highest level price point. So this is pre-price increases. I fully expect to see somewhere between probably about $5 a piece added on to the $60 kits, and probably somewhere around that for Jain Zar as well. So let's just say hypothetically Jain Zar goes to $45 and each of the units go up by $5 a piece. We're basically looking at about another like 20 bucks on top of here. So it's about a $240 box. And with Games Workshop's typical discount of like 30 to 35%, that basically puts the price point on this estimated at like $160 USD. So that is actually going to be the same price as the combat patrols once the price increase hits, which this will come out after that. And even if it comes out before then, will already be priced in. So that being said, a lot of people are saying it doesn't really make sense that these are coming out at the same price point as the combat patrols. And I think part of the reason is these aren't necessarily meant to replace combat patrols. Games Workshop has 100% confirmed that these are all limited run only. So if you're after these boarding patrols, once they're sold out, they're gone forever. And I think more than the idea of providing cheaper alternatives, like it initially looked with the Space Marine box set, I think it's more about providing a complete force that is usable inside of boarding actions. Because a lot of the combat patrol boxes have a vehicle or other units that are not viable to take in a boarding patrol. So by doing this, they make sure that everybody has a single box that can create a force that can play the game. Now we have still seen a few of the boxes come in much lower, and then the Space Marine one is the only one that's officially been priced yet, and that was $110 in the United States. But also that box only had about $160 worth of value inside. So again, with that 30+% rule, that puts it right at that price point, which makes a lot of sense. So in my opinion, and I could be completely wrong on this, we're going to see 3 different price points in the United States for these boarding patrol boxes. The like 110, the 160, and then somewhere kind of in the middle around like 130 or 140. So final thoughts on this boarding patrol. It's really thematic, having the basically like space elf pirates. I really like the idea of that. I think it's super cool. Banshees are definitely the best selection out of the aspect warriors, in my opinion. At least the ones with a new kit. They're going to be really good in close confines. And Jain Zar is definitely a cool and welcome addition, although it kind of doesn't really fit with the thematic part of it. So maybe Jain Zar has summoned a force of space elf pirates to help her destroy the forces of chaos or something along those lines. So I can see it. We can kind of spin it. I like the box set. I think it's cool. And obviously all of these box sets are a good value over MSRP. And now a quick message from this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by CMOgames.com, where you can get 15% off most Games Workshop pre-orders, and they go live right at midnight Saturday mornings. CMOgames.com offers free shipping on orders over $25 in the US 48, and most orders ship within 24 hours. CMOgames.com has been selling Games Workshop products online for more than 20 years, and customer service is their top priority. CMOgames.com carries the full line of Games Workshop products, including 40k, Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, Warcry, paints, hobbies, and tools. Visit CMOgames.com using the affiliate link in the description below so they know you heard about CMOgames.com from Warhammer Man Studios. Now, back to the video. And moving right along to the Drukhari, the witch cults of Camaro, meanwhile, are masterful marauders, dispatching raiding parties to hunt down prisoners for the fighting pits. Victims surrender into gruesome stimulants or slaves to pay off their shiny new razor flail. Succubi are skilled duelists, making them the perfect leader for the close confines of boarding actions. They command 20 witches, acrobatic murderers who no one wants to get stuck in a room with. And they have also hired 5 Incubi, heavily armored shock troopers who can clear out whole gangways with their razor-sharp democlaves. Alright, so for the Drukhari here, again, nice looking box set. We can see a stark difference between the price of new stuff versus the price of old stuff. Obviously, Drukhari players are known to complain about their existing model line. I think the models actually look really nice. I'm a big fan of all the models, but this is a specific example where you can see the Succubus is still priced at $27. Nice looking model, a little bit older. We see like the Astra Militarum heroes that have just come out, came out at $35. So this model is still priced substantially lower than existing range models, even though it looks really nice, honestly. And then we can see the Incubi kit was one of the most recent kits that the Drukhari received, and that is $60 for 5 models. And again, absolutely amazing models. Don't get me wrong, they are beautiful. But the Wyches are an old kit, and again, really nice models, lots of cool options, good poses, $42 for 10 of them. So realistically, if these models were reboxed now and, you know, basically had the existing price line, or maybe after the increase they will, I would expect the Succubus to cost $35. I would expect each squad of 10 witches to cost either $55 or $60. And then obviously the Incubi are going to go up by probably $5 as well. That being said, with the current prices in the range, 27 plus 60, 42, and 42 gives us $171 total. So this one is basically in line with the Space Marine boxes and that low tier. Seeing this box here at $171 in value and seeing the Space Marine box have come out at $110, most likely this is going to come out closer to that level. And again, the difference in pricing between just this one and the Aeldari box we just looked at is over $50. So the idea that these are all going to come out at the same price point, honestly, in my opinion, is basically invalidated by seeing the stark differences in the MSRP that's contained within these boxes. So I'm very interested to see the next box set come out. We will have those prices for you in a video very shortly. And that's going to include the Chaos box set, and that will give us a better idea as to the top level and probably what the Aeldari box is going to be priced at. So that being said, price-wise, you know, we know this is going to be a nice value, 30 to 35% discount. We know it's probably going to come out around 110 to like 125, somewhere around there. And honestly, looking at this box, I think this is a really, really nice box. I do like the Succubus. All the models are super cool, even though the Wyches and the Succubus are just a little bit older. The Incubi are some of my just favorite models altogether. They're awesome. They are great in game terms as well, and Wyches are extremely good also. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the idea that they put 2 units of Wyches in here. because I do prefer some diversity, but there are some cool kind of like witch cult rules and stuff like that that benefit the Drukhari. So having the Succubus and the Wyches, it is pretty thematic. It's definitely cool. I like the idea of it. I think the other alternative would have been to just put in some of the regular Kabalite warriors. But honestly, the only way I would have rather see some Kabalite warriors in here is if we were going to see the new kit that just came out in Kill Team with the upgrade frame. And we know that's not going to happen. Soul Shackle sold out instantly. That kit is probably months away. So that being said, I actually do like the composition on this one. Again, it is a little redundant with 20 witches, and that is one of my main complaints with these boxes. But that being said, I do actually like the composition of this. It's definitely thematic, that's for sure. So that's it for our 2 new boarding patrol boxes. I've got to say, they're both really nice. If you're looking to get into Aeldari or Drukhari, I think both these boxes are an excellent starting point, specifically for boarding actions, but potentially for 40k as well. Now a quick message from today's sponsor, VoxLink Tabletop Gaming App. VoxLink is the ultimate tabletop community gaming app designed to connect tabletop gaming players, help find and attend games, events, and tournaments nearby. VoxLink app will offer a free version as well as bonus features for premium users. VoxLink app is the best new way to stay connected to tabletop gaming communities you love. And who's behind this revolutionary new tabletop gaming app? The one and only Constantine, aka the Magnet Baron, a 30-year veteran of the hobby. And with your help, we can make this dream a reality. Check out the Kickstarter launch of the VoxLink tabletop gaming app that will change the way that we connect and play forever. VoxLink, help build the community and make tabletop gaming better for us all. Now, back to the video. Both of these are going to be a little bit of glass cannons. The Incubi have a little more durability, but honestly, most of the stuff in this Drukhari box is going to fall to a stiff freeze. That being said, definitely a big fan of this one, and I have a feeling the price point on this is going to be a lot more desirable. And then back to the Drukhari, really nice looking box here. Overall, the Void Scar don't have the greatest rules, but the ability to build them as 2 separate kits and the idea of them being basically space pirates. I mean, if they can't fit in for boarding patrols, I don't know where they belong. So honestly, I think this is a nice box as well. Super cool. Jain Zar is very good. Banshees are very good. And depending on how you build them and what you're kind of going for, you can definitely make the Void Scars happen. The idea of being able to put 1 psyker in each unit of them, giving you basically 2 psykers in boarding actions is kind of a big deal as well, as I don't think there's many other units that have a psyker built into them. I mean, there's some typical stuff like Thousand Suns or Grey Knights, but I think most of the boarding patrols that you're going to be facing are probably not going to have any psykers, let alone in this case 2. I'm definitely a fan of them putting these special characters in these boarding patrol boxes. I like it. It does feel a little bit hero hammery to have essentially a unique character that's taking up a large portion of your force, and also is, I mean, let's be real, the special characters are very, very good competitive units. So that being said, I think I would rather see all of them have a special character built into it, but I can kind of see the argument both ways, because obviously you're not going to want 2 of this box set, because you're not going to be able to use 2 Jain Zars. But also, I'm not really sure that you're going to want 2 of any of these box sets. I think more often than not, you're going to want 1 of these box sets and then 1 of the combat patrols if you're going to be starting a force there. And now there is also something to be said for basically building a mixed force of Aeldari and Drukhari. It is definitely a thing if you're looking to go the Asuryani route. So would you pick up both of these boarding patrols if you were going to build a mixed force? Yeah, I think it would be pretty nice overall. And honestly, I'm always a big fan of the box sets because they offer a nice discount because you're basically buying in bulk. The only thing you have to be careful of is oftentimes if there's 1 unit that you're just not going to use, not going to touch, or don't want, there goes your benefit. But you can always offload that, trade it to a friend, or pick up something else instead. So for this week's previews of the new boarding patrols, I gotta say, I like them both. I think they're both very thematic. One is the sort of space pirate, and then the other is the witch cult. And both of them are super cool. I think there'll be various levels of competitiveness depending on how you build them, but I think you're gonna have some fun with both these boarding patrols. So both these boxes, really nice, and I have a feeling at least one of them is gonna end up on my pile of shame, at least for now. So let me know what you think about these boxes, which one gets you most excited, or are you gonna go the double route and pick up 1 of each? Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Warhammer. And special thanks to the VoxLink app. Kickstarter goes live today. Make sure to check that out if you want to be a part of improving the tabletop gaming community. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.